So, here we go, the second time. And before someone gets concerned that have I been hit... Yeah, and before someone gets hurt, concerned saying that have I been hit over the head, I have, very hard. I'm doing things that I don't normally do and it's weird. I don't like it. What does it say? Okay, that's definitely an NTA. Okay, right, I've got the correct page up. So we're just going to give it a couple of minutes. We're going to let a few more people jump in before I get cracking. Ross has copied my tactic from a few seasons ago, so I'm going to start using it again. Because I can. Do, 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 do. Right. How long's it been? How long has it been? It's been long enough. That'll do. That will do. Right. So, welcome to Redbull Ring. An interesting circuit. One, again, I'm not a big fan of, but I will race it because I don't really have much choice. So, in P16, let's go down to his level because he's a very, very small person. That's better. That's about the correct height. So, we got Yuri in 16th position. We then got D-Dubs in 15th. NTO's in 14th. Then, just missing out 14th position. From 13th position, sorry, is Matthew, who's in 13th. Jersey's in 12th. We then got Sir Tracy in 11th. Radiates locking out the top 10 with Kanata in 9th. So a bit of a slower qualifying session from Kanata. He's going to drop back a couple of places from the unfortunately terrible start that Porsche has been known to have. We then got your host Gr3 in 8th. Way too trippy in 7th position in that Supra. Good qualifying session from him. We then got Danger in 6th. Rocket in 5th. Zabs in 4th position. Tom with a great qualifying session and a great turn of events, finishing last in the Nürburgring to now being top 3 here at Redbull Ring. So great turnaround from Tom. We then got Tommy in 2nd and Astro in pole position, but that pole position is going to last to about, you see that, about this solid white line, and then it will probably change. Not because he's a bad driver, no. It's just the terrible start that Porsche has. So we're not going to hang around, we're going to get straight to it because I do not know what buttons to press quite clearly. As away we go. Tommy gets a great start, Astro gets a good start considering that Porsche. Tom gets a good start as well, he's already up into 2nd position. Rocket's now challenging for 3rd position as through goes Rocket up the inside, who gets murdered in turn 1. As we all make it through, D-Dubs falls down to 16th. Jersey's down 15th. Yuri's made up a good couple of positions too. We're going to go back up to the front of the pack. Tommy has managed to pull up huge gap out as we go into turn 3, or technically I call turn 2, but some people call turn 3. It doesn't matter. We'll have that argument later. Tom goes out wide. Rocket goes even wider. Now down into 4th position. Astro's challenging for 2nd as he's now up the inside of Tom. He's almost completely alongside. Here comes Rocket. Late on the brakes goes the Porsche. Tom goes very late on the brakes too, as we're going to come back to Danger Mouse's perspective as he's in 4th position. So a great start from that Jaguar. Tom and Astro still at it. Tom's now got the inside line. As we come into the end section, there's a little bit of contact between the pairs and Tom goes out ahead. Astro falls back in, gets a much better run as we come out of Sector 2 into Sector 3. Tom defends the inside line. Astro goes to the left-hand side of the circuit. Tommy ahead is going to extend his lead even more, but Astro just drives it around the outside. That was a phenomenal move around the outside of the penultimate corner. Tom struggles to get a little bit of traction. Danger's going to try and capitalise, but he's got a hungry pack right behind him. Rocket gets a good run. Way Too Trippy gets a great run too, as Way Too Trippy pushes Rocket up the inside of Dangerous. Way Too goes late on the brakes up the inside too, gets a little bit of a push on the exit. Helps him, but doesn't help him quite enough. Radiates in 7th, and Zab's in 8th position, just behind. We're going to go a bit further forward. Danger Mouse has got a great run. That Jag has got some legs on it, and has got a bit longer legs than the Ferrari. Danger brakes a bit late, way too late on the brakes. He goes off the circuit, uses the runoff area. Rejoins, make a little bit of contact with the Rocket. Keeps 4th position though. That might go up to the Stewarts. Is just up ahead. Astro back down into P3. Tom's back up into P2, as these two are fighting for 2nd position. Let's go further back than P8. Kanata's in 9th position, considering the start on that Porsche. He's not done too bad, I will say. Mgrew's in 10th position, holds off the top 10. Yuri's in 11th. NTO's in 12th. Sir Tracy's in 13th. Jez is in 14th, defending from D-Dubs, who's in 15th. And Matthews in 16th at the moment. I prefer this because things are a little bit more smaller and I can actually switch between cars without having to load 70 donuts just so we can watch someone have a little mistake. Rocket gets an absolute rocket, fires himself off like a rocket out of the final corner, gets past before we even hit the grid start marks. In the background, Way Too Trippy, he's got a great run again. He's going to try and challenge into turn 1. He's going to try to. Danger goes very, very late on the brakes. Nearly goes into the back of the Ferrari ahead of him. Gets the good exit as well. So Danger got very, very lucky. Danger's got a great run. Lifts off. Backs off early. Way too. Whoa, my God. Where were you going? Oh, he just completely misses his braking points, gets tunnel vision, misses everybody, so fair play, misses completely everybody. Radiate now goes up into 6th. Zab dropped down to 8th position. Kanata's now up into 7th. Who's way down the back? Oh no, what has happened here? I've missed something. Oh, Sir Tracy just lights up the rear, then lights up the tyres even more and slams himself into the wall. I think Jezza might have clipped him too. So Sir Tracy having a horrible start to this sprint race, way down the back of the pack, not having a great start at all. Going a bit further forward, Astro sends it up the inside, tries to send it up the inside. Tom just about realises and gives him some space. Astro keen to get up back into the top 2 as he's lost out his pole position on the start of the race. Tom's giving him a very good fight. We're going to come back a little bit. Rocket's in P4, Danger's in P5. The Jag struggles in this little intersection, in a sort of inner sector of the circuit, and now it's going to start coming into its own where the straights come back to it. So I'm trying to keep an eye on Astro and Tom, and I'm trying to keep an eye on the rest of the pack too. So we'll come back to these two in just a moment. Mgrew's got a good run on Zab, so is Yuri. NTO's in 11th. Yuri shakes for a little bit of a move, trying to get Mgrew in his mirrors. Focuses the good exit. Gets an okay exit actually, uses the slipstream to pull himself a little bit closer. Tom's still ahead of Astro at the moment. We'll come back to them too shortly. Yuri shakes for a move. Mgrew goes very late on the brakes, gets his apex a little bit mixed up, but recovers well. Yuri putting the Gr3 under a lot of pressure at the moment. NTO struggling to catch up to the back of the top 10 at the moment. Matthew with a half-second penalty in 12th. D-Dubs is in 13th with a 1 second penalty. Jazz is in 14th with no penalty, thank God that I can say that sentence for once. Way Too Trippy's in 15th after outbraking himself massively into turn 2/3, however you want to call it. And is down in 16th. Come on, Tracy. Come on, Sir Tracy, keep going. We're going to come back to these two. Astro sat behind Tom now for a couple of laps. Maybe just resetting. Settling down. Trying to find the weak points. Trying to find the positions where Astro can really put Tom under pressure. This might be one of them, as Tom immediately comes across to make his defensive move very, very early. Tries to break the toe. The toe's not been broken. Tom comes back across to the racing line. He's able, can do that as we come through turn 1. Astro gets a great run out of turn 1. Whilst these two fight, Tommy's just pulling away. We're not even going to bother looking at Tommy because that's just boring. Tom defends the inside. Astro goes around, tries to go around the outside, gets the braking point absolutely perfect. Tries to stamp on the throttle. He does manage to stamp on the throttle, so through goes Astro round the outside at the hairpin. Great move from Astro, but he gets he gets a half-second penalty for track limits as well, so he's going to be absolutely furious with himself. He's going to try his best to pull a little bit of time back. He's opening up a little bit of a gap, but we'll come back to that shortly. Rocket in 4th position, opening up the gap to Danger, who's in 5th. Kanata's in 6th, and a bit further back, Radiate is defending from Zab in 7th, as we got a huge queue of cars just behind. Mgrew's made a bit of a mistake. He's down into 11th position. NTO's up into 10th. Yuri's up into 9th position. Astro falls back behind Tom, but these two are going to continue fighting out as Tom goes way off track. That's going to be a penalty, surely. There it is. We're going to come back to this group here. Who's going to play the long game? Who's going to play the smart game? Are they all going to follow each other and push each other into the back of Kanata, or are they going to try and fight it out? We're going to go... No, Astro's a bit too far back. So just going out the hairpin at the top. Everyone's sort of kind of nulling each other out as we're kind of in a bit of a slipstream train at the moment. Was that Windscreen? No, it wasn't the Windscreen Viper, I thought it was. Yuri's managed to open a little bit of a gap to the NTO. NTO's got a lot of pressure from Mgrew just behind. Mgrew trying his best to regain that 10th position back off NTO. As Sir Tracy set the fastest lap of the race too. Out in the clean air. We're going to come back a little bit. We'll check on these guys in a minute. Matthew and Jezza in 12th and 13th. Way Too Trippy's in 14th, sniffing the exhaust pipes of Jezza. D-Dubs is in 15th after having a horrible lap. And then Sir Tracy at the back of the pack at the moment. We're not even going to look at this driver. No, we're not. We're not going to. Tommy in first with a huge gap to other Tom, who's in second. Astro just behind. Oh, was that Mgrew going a little bit wide? That was Mgrew going a little bit wide there. That's going to cost him the toe for P10 at the moment. The toe for P10, NTO has caught up to the back of the pack. Yuri goes to the inside, defends the inside. NTO slams it around the outside. Yuri has the inside line. Is he going to be able to get the power down? He is going to be able to get the power down. He's got the traction as well. Down goes Zab. Zab's gone out wide onto the curb. Through goes Yuri. NTO kind of loses out a little bit there. Later on the brakes, he gets alongside Zab as there's a little bit of contact at the apex. Through goes NTO with a lunge done by into turn, I believe it is 5. So Zab in P10 at the moment. These guys fighting have allowed Mgrew to catch back up after making a small mistake at turn 1. Radiate starting to pull away a little bit too. We're going to go forward a few cars. We're going to keep checking on these two here. We've got a few laps left to go. What can Astro do? Can Astro catch up? It's a 30.6 and 30.0. So Astro's lost Astro's lost 0.6 of a second that last lap. Tom is firing that GTR up. I think he might have broken the toe as well. Rocket with a half-second penalty for track limits. Danger's in 5th at the moment. Kanata's in 6th, doing a great run. His teammates doing okay as well. Further ahead, Radiates in 7th. Yuri's in 8th. Everyone missing the apex a little bit. We're going to come back to Gr3. Gr3's under pressure from Matthew, who's under pressure from way too trippy. He's gotten past Jezza recently. Matthew trying to get past Gr3. Ferrari versus Ferrari. It's 458 versus 296. I believe it's 296. Yeah. I can't. Yeah, I will. Matthew has a little look. He's not going to send it. He's going to try and put Gr3 in his mirrors, though. That might be a penalty. Might have just get away with that, though. I don't know. We'll have to stay on board. We'll find out. He has gotten away with that. And just gotten away with that. Zab hasn't, though. Zab's got himself a half-second penalty. This is going to pull him into the back of Gr3. Matthew has not gotten away with a penalty, though. He got a little bit of penalty coming out of turn 1. Way too trippy, sorry, has gotten a great run coming out of turn 1. Hits his braking point this time. Matthew goes around the outside, keeps the speed. Oh no. Oh no. What was that? Well, look, I don't know what NTO did. It looked like NTO pulled the handbrake or something. I don't think he did. So NTO loses the rear grip. Now down into 11th position. He was running in 9th position. Gr3 gives Zab a little bit of a push, but not much to change anything. NTO gets a good run coming out of the hairpin to become charging down the hill towards the infield section. Gr3 goes a little bit wide as he's got a mirror full of McLaren just behind him.
The first time he pulled the handbrake this race.
Oh dear. That's, oh dear. Matthew just behind with a good run, but it doesn't matter. There goes the penalty. There goes way too trippy, so through goes way too trippy. Zab's served his penalty, and this has pulled Zab right back into this group. As we come on to the penultimate lap, NTO gets a mega run as we come out of the last corner. He gives Gr3 a bit of a push. It'd probably be in NTO's best interest to get Gr3 and Zab having a little bit of a fight rather than trying to fight himself, as Gr3 sends Zab off into the next dimension. Gr3 falls down and sacrifices a few places. Zab keeps 9th. NTO goes up a position. Way 2 goes up a position. Matthew goes up a position. Jezza goes up a position. Gr3 falls down to 14th. We're going to go back a bit further forward. Way 2 just... Ooh, Matthew very, very late on the brakes. Very late on the brakes indeed. We're going to go back and have a look at that before we go further forward, because Astro's managed to get past Tom. Oh, Matthew very, very late indeed on the brakes. Way 2 is very, very lucky to have spotted that. So Matthew with a great move around the outside. Up into P11. Let's go further up. Yuri in 8th position. Radiate in 7th. Kanata's in 6th. Danger's in 5th. Rocket's in 4th. Tom's down in 3rd position. Recently being passed by Astro, who's in 2nd. And in the wrong tier, sandbagging his season, is Tommy, who's in pole position at the moment. Oh, I'm joking, he's not sandbagging. He's just doing very, very well. He's in first at the moment as he's going to start his final lap of the race. Gr3's got a half-second penalty as he's now going to switch to the inside as we're going to make it nearly too wide going into turn 1. Matthew drops down to 14th after having made that wonderful pass earlier. He served his penalty. I believe it was a penalty. As we're on the final lap of the race, he might struggle to get up a little bit further. Jez is in 12th, way too trippy's in 11th, putting pressure on NTO for 10th position. NTO's going to want to try and keep this 10th for the feature. Nothing else is really going on. Nope. Gr3 gets very close to the back of Matthew. D-Dubs is in 15th at the moment, struggling to catch up with the pack. And then Sir Tracy's just picking up the rear at the moment. We're going to go further forward to the driver who has been uncontested since the start of this race. Comes out the final corner, dominated another sprint race. Comes over the line. Tommy wins the sprint race. Astro with a very, very well fought second position. Tom's in a very well respected and very well deserved third. Rockets in a half-second penalty gets in 5th. Danger's in 4th. Kanata's in 6th. Radiates in 7th. Yuri finishes in 8th. Zab's got a half-second penalty. This might push him in down into 10th position. It doesn't. NTO's in 9th. Way too trippy's in 10th. Zab's 11th. Jez is 12th. Matthew's 13th. Gr3's 14th. D-Dub is 15th. And then Sir Tracy picking up the rear for 16th. Could you tell that we've had a new Porsche? There's absolutely no signs at all. Feature.
We got a new Porsche.
Yeah, we got a new Porsche. It's the new 911. It's the RSR. It's the 22 spec. Come on, Astro, get your head out of the bucket. So, Red Bull ring strategy.
Going off of your joke, dickhead.
Oh, haha, very funny. Very funny. Where is he? Where is he? I was singing your praises earlier, now I take all of that back. Motherfucker. I'm joking.
Face with tears of joy.
Right, so, strategies. Now, the strategy hit you could do... You could try the softs. I think the medium soft is the strategy here, if from memory. I honestly can't remember what the strategy here was. So I am potentially expecting some hard medium or medium soft runners for those who have got very good tyre wear. I have heard through reliable channels that these two have a great fight at some point. I hope firearms are used from the Frenchman on the Dutchman, but no harm meant, only on track. So, way too trippy's on the softs, naturally. He'd probably want to try and pull away. NTO and Yuri are on the mediums. Radiate is on the mediums. Kanata's on the softs. From 5th. Interesting. surely you're going to burn them up before you even get past anybody. But Kanata's going to try something different. Fair play. Rocket, Danger, Tom, Astro. Not Astro. No, I'm joking. He's not an asshole. Well, I might call him an asshole for a minute. He's not an asshole. This thing. Tommy, Zab, Jezza, Matthew, Gru, D-Dubs are all on the mediums. Sir Tracy's on the softs. Okay, so different strategies being played out. Some bit more interesting than others. I'm not going to lie to you. This will make it very interesting.
Calling me Astro loudly crying face.
Astro. Yeah, that is right. That's what I need to start calling you, Astro. Oh, Yuri putting NTO under big pressure, and we don't even get to turn one, and there's a car spun around, and it's Yuri. Oh, Christmas has come early. I've said it the second time. Last time it was NTO that Christmas came early. This time it's with Yuri. Yuri very aggressive into turn one as he just lights up the rear. All on his own, around he goes. And down he goes. So Yuri, we know where Yuri's going to be. Now this gives way to Trippier. Huge gap in first position. He's going to try and extend that gap. Let's come back and check on the rest as Rocket gets very close to the back. Oh, dearie, dearie, dearie me. I heard a squeal.
Just wait for it.
Yeah, I
Christmas has come very early.
How the... Huh? Where? How did you do that?
Let's go Tom Maddox.
So, this happened. This is given him...
Crying face.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift is not your style, I'm gonna just say. It's not your style. Leave Tokyo Drift to the people who are going... And there's another car round. We're not even halfway through lap one and there's 3 of you around. What has Zab done? There's a big ass fight. Okay, I missed all this, so I need to come back and check on this because Tom has made some excellent progress. Zab, on the other hand, has made some excellent grass cutting progress. Alright, Sir Tracy up to 13th, D-Dubs 12th, Emger 11th, Jessett's in 10th, Matthews 9th, Danger's in 8th, Tommy's in 7th, Kanata on the softs is in 6th. He's on the softs and he started 5th, where Rocket is. Astro on the mediums is in 4th. He's on absolute fire at the moment, but not as much fire as Tom, who's in 3rd, who's in that GTR, who's managed to muscle his way up into P3. Rocket challenges P4 of Astro, I should say. It doesn't get through, just behind his teammate Kanata's realising that the accelerator on the right does go all the way to the floor, not halfway to the floor. And he's going to start trying to put some pressure on Rocket for his teammate. Radiate is in 2nd. Nearly wasn't in 2nd. Was very close to not being in 2nd. We're going to stay with this group though, as we have got a huge group all fighting for 3rd position at the moment, just behind. Oh, we got some cars approaching very, very quickly. I love it. I love a bit of chaos. And you guys provide chaos very nicely. Sir Tracy making a move on Gru. Finally, Sir Tracy is going up the grid, not down it. We're going to go forward a little bit more, try and keep an eye on the chaos everywhere, because it is quite literal chaos everywhere. It may mean I have to focus on one driver, but it means I can actually watch the whole pack like this. Astro goes up the inside of Tommy in a place that you don't really see a car overtake ever. Astro unfortunately doing a great move. I know I have to say it about this very particular driver at the moment, but he's caught. Oh, he's almost caught with his trousers around his ankle. He goes off though. wide. That's definitely going to be a penalty for sure. So's this. Rocket comes off. Kanata goes through. Rocket gets a half-second penalty. Somehow Astro does not get a half-second penalty for going off on track limits. Tom gets back up the inside, gets a much better run. Has the inside line for turn 1. Astro goes off the circuit, rejoins back on ahead of Tom. Still doesn't get a penalty. This is bribery right here. This is paying off the FIA stewards. As Tom dives up the inside going into turn 3. Tom nearly spins it. He nearly stacks it. So through goes Astro. Through goes Rocket. Tommy's just behind. He's going to try and... He tapped you wide, yeah. Okay. If he tapped you wide, fair enough. Kanata down in 7th. The other Porsche struggling to get those softs switched on and struggling to try and get any... Yeah. Being hit off, yeah, it's rare that it is being good. Unlike most tracks that we visit, like the Nürburgring and like Le Mans, where if you even look at a white line, you get a 3-second penalty for just looking at a white line. Matthews in 8th, Dangers in 9th, Jez in 10th, so Tracy with a half-second penalties in 11th. We're going to check on the back of the pack. D-Dubs is in 12th, M-Cruz in 13th, NTO's in 14th, Yuri's in 15th, and Zab's way down the back in 16th. Way too happy. But he is way too happy at the moment. He should be way too trippy. He is miles ahead at the moment. Radiates in 2nd. Not really pulled away from the rest of the pack. Astro's really switched on those mediums. He's pulled a bit of a gap to Tom, who's in 4th. Rocket's in 5th, being very closely followed by Tommy, who's in 6th. Tommy comes out the slipstream, comes to the right hand side, gets completely alongside of Rocket as we come into the hard braking point. Both drivers giving each other lots of space. Rocket fires that Ferrari out of the corner, gets a lot better traction, so Tommy's going to have to try again, but Tommy's now susceptible to Kanata, who's got a good run too. Tommy sits slightly tighter. He didn't have to, but he did decided to. As Astro's gone past Radiate. Radiate's now down to P3. Astro's up to P2. Kanata still in 7th position on those softs, struggling with those soft tyres at the moment. Matthew's starting to catch up to the back of him. We're going to go back a few cars too. I think these two are about to start fighting, because I did hear that these two have a good fight. Let's give... no, it's not going to be this lap, I don't think. Let's go a bit further forward. Sir Tracy now in 9th position, so great job and great run by Sir Tracy at the moment, considering they started in 16th position and they're all the way up into 9th on lap 5. That's a great run at the moment. Oh, it is going to happen. Yuri gets a great run out of turn 1, goes through turn 2 as they're side by side coming up to 3. Who's going to be latest on the brakes? Who's going to be brave? Yuri's a little bit later on the brakes, but NTO gets a switchback, gets the power down, so Yuri's going to have to try that again. As he falls back down into 15th, is the slipstream going to be strong enough for him to contest going into turn 4? He gives it a go, he sends it up the inside. NTO gives the space. Yuri's and the NTO still side by side as we come through turn 4, now coming up to through turn 5. NTO tries to squeeze Yuri out. Yuri ends up going off onto the marbles, a slightly dirty side of the track. Keeps the speed up though. Gets a good run. He tries to send a move up on the inside. NTO just sits in the line. As we come up to the penalty zone, I'll come back to the front in just a moment. Once these guys finish squabbling, Yuri gets a good run, looks for the inside line. Yuri has to brake a little bit more. NTO tries to get the good switchback and a good run. It's not going to work though, so Yuri goes up to P14. NTO down to 15th. I'll come back and keep an eye on these two. If these two are going to fight like that, it's going to be a good race to watch. Jezza in 11th. Danger Intense, so Tracy's in 9th. Matthews in 8th. Followed Rocket for 7th. Kanata's in 6th. He's finally going up a position or 2. Tommy's in 5th, now challenging other Tom for 4th position. Tommy's trying to break around the outside. Is he going to get the run? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I think that's unlucky. Yeah, I can see from, if that was reported, I can see from Stuart's point of view, Tom does get spun by Tommy. That is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. So Tracy defends, going into turn 4. Danger. It's not oversteer. Yeah, I thought it would be. That's unfortunate. Where did he come out? He came out in 14th. Just by these two who are still having a little battle. Tom trying to get the switch back on Yuri. It's kind of worked. He's going to try and make it work. Yuri goes a bit later on the brakes, tries to carry the speed. He does carry the speed. Tom's gone a little bit tighter. It's compromised him a little bit. NTO's now going to get into the mix as well. We're going to come on board and watch from NTO's perspective. Tom goes up the inside. Yuri holds it around the outside, carries the speed, keeps the momentum as we now come around the last corner. Yuri goes wide. Tom's going to have the inside line, keeps the momentum up, gets better traction. Yuri's now going to fall down. He might even fall down. Thank you. He's going to fall down behind NTO, and he's going to get a half-second penalty to just rub a little bit extra salt in the wound. He's going to try and play it smart though. Tries to get a good enough exit, gets about an average exit. He's going to use the toe from the McLaren in front of him to get back up ahead. Zab is going to get dragged into this too. We're going to go further forward. Way too trippy, still in the lead. Astro in second, not really eating into that lead too much at the moment, considering his blistering pace at the start. Radiates in third with a half-second penalty. Rockets in fourth, having a little fight with Kanata, who's in 5th at the moment. Tommy's in 6th, passing Matthew for 7th position. So Tracy's still in 8th, Danger's 9th. Jez is bringing up the top 10 at the moment. We're going to come back to these guys. Maybe not, because there's not really too much going on. He says. So Yuri's going to serve his half-second penalty. This might allow Zab to have a little look at the overspeed. He's going to back out of it though. Yuri gives the space. And Yuri giving the space is just giving him probably another half-second penalty. Definitely a half-second penalty after that one. Is it going to be a half-second? There it is. Yeah, he's not a happy bunny. So let's stay in this area, let's stay with this group for the time being. Ooh, Danger has a little bit of a moment coming out of turn 3, still in the running tracks of Sir Tracy just in front of him. Jez is going to potentially get involved for P9 shortly too. So Tracy goes a little bit wide. This allows Danger to stick his nose up the inside. Not going to be able to this time as we come around the left-hander. So Tracy doing an absolute fantastic job, considering the last time we saw them, he was at the back of the grid in the sprint. He was at the back of the grid in Canada as well. And it's great to see him, Sir Tracy, back and in a good position as well. We're going to go a little bit further forward though. Tommy in the tracks of Kanata on the softs, Tommy on the mediums. Tommy's got a much better exit coming out of the final corner as we're now side by side going into turn 1. I think Kanata's going to try and play it smart, as smartly as possible. Tommy goes through, does get a kind of a good run. he defends going into turn 3. Kanata doesn't really have to, well, opens up the corner. Tommy might get a half-second penalty for that. He might get away with that, actually. He didn't go 2 wheels over the sausage curve. No, he's okay. Matthew sticking with these guys. Tommy now starting to pull away from P6 of Kanati. He's going to start trying to chase down the top 4. We're going to go back up and check on the top 4. Rocket and Radiate still glued together. Astro sort of in no man's land. He's not really closing. He's starting to close in a little bit on Way Too Trippy. Sorry, Way Too Trippy going to go on for maybe another lap. Radiate and Rocket close together. Is Rocket potentially in a position to do an overtake as we come into turn 3 momentarily? Let's just stay with him for a moment to see what type of exit he gets. He doesn't open up the corner as much as Radiate. Gets a little bit later on the brakes. And take a rare drink while I think it's safe. Rocket not able to get a much better run than the Radiate. Tommy's got himself a half-second penalty. He is on fire at the moment. Closing in on these two. As I say, he didn't get a good enough exit. Rocket does get a good exit. And he's now side by side with Radiate. Radiate's on the left. Rocket's on the right. As we're coming up to a right-hand hairpin. I say hairpin, very, very tight corner. Through goes Rocket up the inside. Radiate down to P4. Still doing well, still doing very, very well indeed. Tommy's in P5. He is closing up on the back of these guys, but he's got a half-second penalty to serve first. As we come out the little infield section, there says contact between Radiate and Rocket. Rocket goes off into a different dimension. That's a free 2 positions for pretty much everybody until they recover. So Tommy's going to serve his penalty and stay in P3. Kanata's going to come into the pits. He's coming into the pits in the old way. The pit line doesn't start till there. So in comes Kanata. Jezza now goes up into P5. So both Ferraris up into the top 5. Way Too Trippy comes in too. Danger's going to go up into 6th position. Astro leads us with a very, very healthy advantage to Tommy. Tommy has got some work to do if he wants to get a win in the feature race too. From that collision a few corners ago, Rocket comes out in 7th position. Radiate comes out in 9th. Well done and fair play and good sportsmanship from Radiate to admit his mistake and wait for Rocket. He's cost him his rate. Cost him a bit of his race as well as Rockets. Tom's in P10 at the moment. It's going to be a bit of a recovery drive from him. We then got Zab in 11th. We then got these two still having a little bit of a battle for P12 and 13 at the moment. Way Too Trippy comes out. Oh wait, no, it says Tracy pitted too. I was thinking they had a little moment. Way Too Trippy comes out in 14th. A monster of a gap to Kanata, who's in 15th. Who's going to the end, and Sir Tracy's in 16th, also going to the end. So different strategies playing out. The Porsche's doing something totally different. Let's stick with these two because this is going to be a good one. Yuri gets a monster run as we come out of the final corner. NTO's got himself a half-second penalty. NTO brakes early, nails his apex, has a little bit of a moment, spins himself out. NTO spins himself out, trying to be clever. It nearly worked, I'll give you credit, it very nearly worked. So NTO having a bit of a tough race. Yuri just up ahead, having a monster run. outbrakes himself a little bit and sticks in 12th position
Is
at
to
the
nail
moment.
the apex.
He did nail the apex. He nailed it probably a bit too hard. Let's go a bit further forward. Rocket now chasing Gru for 6th position. We got Danger, who's putting Jezza under a little bit of pressure too. I'm not expecting the medium runners to come in. I think it's until lap 15 or 16. Potentially could be the strategy. If the soft runners have all come in about lap 10ish, kind of gives you a bit of a guide of, I reckon it'll be about 16 that everyone else is going to be firing in for the pits. Two teammates, Gru and Rocket, what are they going to do? They're going to work together or they're going to have a little fight? If I was them, work together. They're not going to work together. So Rocket is... Gru's basically saying to Rocket, go through because you are faster. Now, if any of you guys have watched the Tier 3 comms, Jack, my teammate, who had a horrible feature race, which is very unlucky, he was quick, he got to the back of me, and I gave him the massive toe. Oh, as we got a bit of a battle between D-Dubs and Tom, as we just stumbled on. D-Dub does what his teammate can't do, which is make the exit of a corner work. Tom doing a great job in P9 at the moment. Yeah, as I was saying, when my teammate caught me up, I gave him a big toe coming down here before he then decided to murder somebody. In cold blood. As well. Now, Yuri still in 12th. NTO way further back. He's got way too trippy for company just behind him. Kanatus still in 15th. Not really catching up, and Sir Tracy's starting to catch up a little bit.
Free place for you.
It was I think it was 2 positions. Was it 2 or 3 positions? I think it was 2 or 3 positions I gained from literally doing nothing. Ooh, Jezza going a little bit wide. This might allow Danger to get fired out once that Jag gets fired out the corner of it. Once he gets up to speed, that thing is a bit of a monster. He's definitely closing the gap. I don't think he's closing the gap quite enough to really put Jezza under immense pressure. We have wiper blades active. So there's some spots of rain coming down. I'm 99% sure. Yeah, wiper blades going, wiper blades going. Apparently Jezza's so good he doesn't need wiper blades. Yeah, we've got rain. Look at the moisture. Now he remembers. Yeah, there's a tiny little bit of moisture on that moisture meter down in the bottom left. So rain is potentially on the way. Who's going to do what? This is going to throw strategies right out the window if rain does become a thing. Tommy is eating into that gap that Astro has made. A 32.1 from Astro and a 32.6. So Tommy's dropped back a little bit. But that gap from Astro to Tommy has dropped. Matthew staying with him was, the moisture meter on the bottom left, it's slowly starting to rise. It's not enough yet for the slick tyres to be a problem, but it's going to make things interesting. Danger still putting Jezza under pressure. Rocket's now going to become a thing of this twosome. D-Dub's still in 10th position. Got a little bit of pressure from Zab, who's on 11th. Yuri's in 12th with a half-second penalty. Way Too Trippy is now in 13th after recently passing NTO, who's in 14th. Oh, D-Dubs, that might be a little bit too wide. That might be a penalty there. That's definitely going to be a penalty, though. If he gets away with it. No, he doesn't quite get away with it. He might have not lifted enough as the skies now become clear. Rain is not a threat anymore. D-Dubs tries to do what NTO did. Makes it work because he actually survives and he can still drive, unlike his teammate. But unfortunately, Zab covers it off beautifully, does a block pass and sits in 10th position. Fires that Lexus down the straight. Just go a bit further forward. Danger Mouse has recently gotten past Jezza. Jezza is now down into P5 with Rocket for company just behind him as we're on lap 16 of 27. So I'm expecting some drivers who are on the mediums to come in. Some could come in to undercut, some could stay out to have the tyre life for the end of the race. So, sorry, 2 seconds and I'm skipping quite a bit. Astro stays out. Does Tommy come in? No. Matthew stays out. Who's going to try the undercut? Who's going to be brave? Nobody at the moment. Radiate comes in. Radiate's going to try and be brave. Tom stays out, so the two Nissans doing something totally different. There was your race leader for a fair little while. He's in P13 now. NTO's got a half-second penalty. He's not going to try anything different either. So, the only driver trying to do something slightly different is Radiators. Rocket gives Jezza a little bit of a nudge in the back as we come into the braking zone. Rocket doesn't take any advantage. Is he going to give Jezza a little bit of a push? He's going to give Jezza a little bit of a push. Now it's game on. Now it's a fight for the corner. Rocket's not quite close enough to make any sort of attempt, but Jezza struggles to get that car to turn just a little bit. His tyres are nearing the end of death. Let's go further forward. Astro. Is he going to try one more lap or is he going to come in? He's coming in. Tommy could go one more. He's got a bit more fuel. He's going to come in too. He's going to follow the leader. So is Matthew. Danger's coming in too. Jezza just about making it in. So is Rocket. Gr3 going to extend. He's going to try something different. So for a hot minute, we're just going to stay with Gr3 until things and people all sort themselves out. Tommy has come in with the most amount of fuel out of everybody. Tom's staying on for another lap too. So Tom and Gr3 trying something totally different. Zab too. Zab's trying something different. He's still got loads of fuel left. Yuri trying something different, and your potential net race, yeah, it is your net race leader, is there in 5th position. But he has got Astro, who's just come out not too far behind him on a set of soft tyres. Tommy's just behind him, not that far behind either, managed to save a lot of time in that pit lane. What's the fuel difference? There's a little bit of a fuel difference. Matthew's come out just behind Kanata. Kanata's been out for a little while on those mediums. Matthews on the softs. So Trace is in P10 at the moment. Just behind his Radiator, who's been out for one lap longer than everyone else who's just gone on to the softs. He's in P11, which has kind of worked out well for him actually. Jezza and Rocket are still together. This time Rocket's ahead of Jezza. D-Dubs is in 15th, and NTO is bringing up the very, very long rear in 16th. M-Gru comes in. Let's find out. Where is he? Where is he? There he is. So top 3 come in. This is going to allow... Top 4, sorry, come in. This is going to allow Way 2 Trippy to have 3 track ahead of him. He's back in the lead again. As he's got Astro just behind. I'd say there's about 3 to 5 second difference. It's about a 4-second difference. About. Tommy's just behind him. Again, similar sort of distance to Astro, 4 or 5 seconds. So the fight for P1 is still probably on. Kanata with a half-second penalty in 4th position. Matthew and Sir Tracy in 5th and 6th. Oh, Sir Tracy gives Matthew a little bit of a nudge as we come into the hairpin. No advantage taken. It's just a little bit of a push. Radiates in 7th. Oh, Yuri's down in 15th. NTO's just behind him in 16th. Way 2 has got a 1-second penalty. How did you get that? I think I just spotted where you got it. There it is. Using a little bit too much of the circuit. So that's going to be big. That's going to cost Way 2 a lot of time. And he's got Astro, who is closing that gap rapidly on a set of soft tyres too. So this might feed and give Astro the win with very little work. Astro's just got to close that gap a little bit more. .5 to a 32.0, so that gap has shrunk by half at minimum. 29.9 from Tommy. Tommy is going even faster, so that gap between Astro and Tommy has shrunk as well. Tommy's a little bit too far back to really capitalise from the penalty, although he's set another purple sector 1. He's probably not going to be too far behind. Hang on, these two are glued together again. Yuri defends going into turn 1. NTO goes wide. Can he repeat what he did last time? He can repeat what he did last time with no better success, and he doesn't spin out this time. We're going to go a bit further forward to a more interesting action than those two. You fucker.